Shir Hashihim. I think that's what it's called. The Song of Songs, a fragmentary wedding adiel. The venerated name of Shlema sufficed to secure the inclusion in the Jewish canon not only of Ecclesiastes, but also of another work still more secular in character. Well, it has a prophecy in it, so it's closer than Esther, right? And it does mention religion of some sort. But the impassioned collection of love lyrics known as the Song of Songs, which latter Christian writers could justify only as a far-fetched allegory of the love of Christ for his church, which sounds a lot more erotic when you read it in its original language. Though the work dating from the 4th century BCE was certainly not by Shlema, and certainly not an allegory, its actual author is unknown, and its interpretation remains somewhat baffling. The difficulties arise from the fact that the hints of consecutive narrative and dramatic speech are too insistent to permit the theory that we have here a mere anthology, and on the other hand are not sufficiently definite to indicate actual drama. Numerous attempts to interpret it as a romantic play depicting a struggle between King Solomon and a shepherd swain for the love of a shepherdess, in which the king is defeated according to the best democratic tradition, have enjoyed considerable popularity in modern times, but are, of course, hopelessly unhistorical. The best explanation seems to be suggested by the discovery of an Oriental wedding custom according to which, during the ceremony, the bride and groom were supposed to play the parts of a king and queen surrounded by their attendants. With his sure instinct for literary form, Richard Malton has pointed out resemblances between the Song of Songs and the pastoral idylls of Theocritus and other Sicilian poets. Putting these suggestions together, one reaches the conclusion that the poem is a semi-dramatic idyll written originally for some notable wedding to be presented with music, choruses, and dance, but now in too fragmentary a state to allow more than the most hypothetical reconstruction. Fortunately, the difficulties of the problem need not inhibit in the least the reader's enjoyment of the lyrical beauty of the poem. And one of the things we find with the Bible and some other religious texts like that is the simple fact that it may contain bits of revelation, inspiration, and sacred history that would give that context. But it's, what's what. And so it's a recording of the tradition at some point. So some of this stuff comes from a lot earlier, as I occasionally point out. The Song of Songs, Shir Hashihim, a fragmentary wedding adiel. Characters: King Shlema, the Shulamim, the brothers, the chorus of the daughters of Jerusalem. Scene 1, the Shulamim. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Thine ointments have a goodly fragrance. Thy name is as ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. The daughters of Jerusalem, draw me, we will run after thee. The Shulamim. The king hath brought me into his chambers. The daughters of Jerusalem, we will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will make mention of thy love more than of wine. Rightly do they love thee. The Shulamim, I am black but comely. O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Shlomah. Look not upon me, because I am swarthy, because the sun hath scorched me. My mother's sons were incensed against me. They made me keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Tell me, O thou, whom thy soul loveth, where thou feedest thy flock, where thou makest it to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that is veiled beside the flocks of thy companions? And, Kedar and the black tents, so Western Arabia is being mentioned for some reason. King Shlomah, if thou knowest not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. I have compared thee, O my love, to a steed in Pharaoh's chariots. Thy cheeks are comely with plaits of hair, thy neck with strings of jewels. We will make thee plates of gold with studs of silver. The Shulamim. While the king sat at his table, my spikenard sent forth its fragrance. My beloved is unto me like a bundle of myrrh that lieth betwixt my breasts. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of henna flowers in the vineyards of En-Gedi. Fetish accent is being hinted at there. Not anything that a spouse and a couple spouses can't do together lawfully, but something is being hinted at there. Spikenard is it can help people to breathe. So it's one of those healing herbs. Myrrh can ease concentration and contentment, but not making. The FDA does not confirm or deny these statements, or something like that. Throw that comment in. So, King Shlomah, behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thine eyes are as doves. The Shulamim. Behold, thou art fair, my beloved. Yea, pleasant. Also, our couch is green, the beams of our house are cedars, and our rafters are firs. I am a rose of Sharon, a lily of the valleys. King Shlomah, as a lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. The Shulamim, as the apple tree among the trees of the wood, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat down under his shadow with great delight, and his fruit was sweet to my taste. He brought me to the banqueting house, and his banner over me was love. Stay ye me with raisins, comfort me with apples, for I am sick of love. His left hand is under my head, and his right hand doth embrace me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hens of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awaken love until it please. Scene 2, the Shulamim, the voice of my beloved. Behold, he cometh, leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. My beloved is like a roe or a young hart. Behold, he standeth behind our wall. He looketh in at the windows. He showeth himself through the lattice. My beloved spoke, and said unto me, Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone, the flowers appear on the earth. The time of the singing of birds is come, and the voice of the turtle is heard in our land. The turtle dove, not the turtles do make sounds. I don't think I have any vocal sounds on recordings, though. Really can't predict them, but the fig tree ripeneth her green figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth their fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. O my dove that art in the clefts of the rock, in the covert of the steep place. Let me see thy countenance, let me hear thy voice. For sweet is thy voice, and thy countenance is comely. The brothers. Take the foxes, the little foxes, that spoil the vineyards, for our vineyards are in blossom. Teshulamim, my beloved is mine, and I am his. He feedeth his flock among the lilies, until the day be cool, and the shadows flee away. Turn, my beloved, and be thou like a roe or a young hart upon the mountains of Bether. There's some other stuff hinted out there too, right? But by night on my bed I sought him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. I said, I will rise now and go about the city. In the streets and in the broad ways I will seek him whom my soul loveth. I sought him, but I found him not. The watchmen that go about the city found me, to whom I said, Saw ye him whom my soul loveth? It was but a little that I passed from them. When I found him whom my soul loveth, I held him and would not let him go, until I had brought him into my mother's house, and into the chamber of her that conceived me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, by the roes and by the hens of the field, that ye stir not up, nor awaken love, until it please. Consents. Definitely essential, right? Scene 3. The daughters of Jerusalem. Who is this that cometh out of the wilderness like pillars of smoke, perfumed with myrrh and frankincense, with all powders of the merchant? Behold, it is the litter of Shlomo. 80 mighty men are about it. Of the mighty men of Yisrael, they all handle the sword and are expert in war. Every man hath his sword upon his thigh because of fear in the night. King Shlomo made himself a palanquin of the wood of Lebanon. He made the pillars thereof of silver, the bottom thereof of gold, the seat of it purple, the midst thereof being paved with love. From the daughters of Jerusalem, go forth, O ye daughters of Zion, the shining example, and behold King Shlomo, with the crown wherewith his mother hath crowned him in the day of his espousals, and in the day of the gladness of his heart. King Shlomo, behold, thou art fair, my love, behold, thou art fair. Thine eyes are as doves beyond thy veil. Thy hair is as a flock of goats that lie along the side of Mount Gilead. Thy teeth are like a flock of ewes that are newly shorn, which are come up from the washing, whereof every one hath twins. And none is bereaved among them. Thy lips are like a thread of scarlet, and thy mouth comely. Thy temples are like a piece of pomegranate behind thy veil. Thy neck is like the tower of Dawood, builded for an armory, whereon there hang 1,000 bucklers, all the shields of the mighty men. Thy 2 breasts are like 2 fawns, that are twins of a roe, which feed among the lilies. Until the day be cool, and the shadows flee away, I will get me to the mountains. I will get me to the mountain of myrrh, and to the hill of frankincense. Thou art fair, my love, and there is no spot in thee. Come with me from Lebanon, my bride, with me from Lebanon. Look from the top of Amana. I have a couple videos on the number 777. From the top of Senir and Hermon, from the lions' dens, from the mountains of the leopards, thou hast ravished my heart, my sister, my bride. Thou hast ravaged my heart with one of thine eyes. The sister part, metaphorical in this case. We're not dealing with certain cultures. With one chain of thy neck. How fair is thy love, my sister, my bride. How much better is thy love than wine, and the smell of thine ointments than all manner of spices. Thy lips, O my bride, drop as the honeycomb. Honey and milk are under thy tongue, and the smell of thy garments is like the smell of Lebanon. A garden shut up is my sister, my bride, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed. Thy shoots are an orchard of pomegranates with precious fruits, henna with spikenard plants, spikenard and saffron, calamus and cinnamon, with all traces of frankincense, myrrh and aloes, with all the chief spices. Thou art a fountain of gardens, a well of living waters, and flowing streams from Lebanon. The Shulamim. Awake, O north wind, and come, thou south. Blow upon my garden, that the spices thereof may flow out. Let my beloved come into his garden and eat his precious fruits. More reference to fetish action, obviously. King Shlomo. I've come into my garden, my sister, my bride. I have gathered my myrrh with my spice. I've eaten my honeycomb with my milk. I've drunken my wine with my milk. Eat, O my friends, drink ye, drink abundantly, O beloved. Scene 4, the Shulamim. I was asleep, but my heart waked. It is the voice of my beloved that knocketh, saying, Open to me, my sister, my love, my dove, my undefiled. For my head is filled with dew, my locks with the drops of the night. Well, we all know what the drops of the night are, right? I have put off my coat. How shall I put it on? I have washed my feet. How shall I defile them? My beloved put in his hand by the hole of the door. And my heart was moved for him. I rose up to open to my beloved, and my hands dropped with myrrh, and my fingers with liquid myrrh upon the handles of the bolt. They're basically doing everything that a spouse can do lawfully, aren't they? I opened to my beloved, but my beloved had withdrawn himself and was gone. My soul had failed me when he spoke. I sought him, but I could not find him. I called him, but he gave me no answer. The watchmen that go about the city found me. They smote me, they wounded me. The keepers of the walls took away my mantle from me. I adjure you, O daughters of Jerusalem, if ye find my beloved, that ye tell him that I am sick of love. The daughters of Jerusalem. It kind of makes it sound like there's a reference here to what was may have occurred before marriage, because why are they coming after you for what you do with your spouse? What is thy beloved more than another beloved, O thou fairest among women? What is thy beloved more than another beloved, that thou dost so adjure us? The Shulamim is where we'll start next time.